Hey, Star Wars action figure collectors, this is Darth Phoenix 619 coming at you with another bid, and this time it's my contest entry to Victoria's Cantina 1,000 subscriber giveaway. And if you have never heard of Victoria's Cantina or briefly just whizzed by her channel, I definitely recommend you check it out. I'll leave a link to her channel in the description box below. Fantastic person. She's been reviewing tons of action figures for the last couple of years. Star Wars, Jurassic Park, Marvel, DC, a little bit of everything. Wonderful reviews. She's very detailed about what she says and and really just in-depth reviews of different action figures and other collectibles. And she just hit the 1,000 mark, so definitely check her channel out. And yeah, this is my video entry to her contest. She did one for my recent contest, and you know, she's offering some great prizes, so I'm definitely gonna throw my hat in. And she has two questions that she would like us to respond to. And the first one is, and you know, these are questions that I've answered before in my vids, so for some of you this may be repetitive, and for others who are new to my channel, you get a little bit more insight on who I am and why I collect. So the first question basically was, what does collecting mean to you? Why do you do it? How is it fun for you? Your traditions? How'd you get into it? And I mean, I've been collecting all my life. I've mentioned before that I started collecting when I was a really young kid, about 7 or 8. I started collecting Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I love that series. Collected Ninja Turtles. Bought figures from other lines as well, but mainly Ninja Turtles. And I had a good, strong collection, which unfortunately I don't have anymore. And one of these days I'm going to start rebuying some of the figures that I had and some that I didn't get as a child. But yeah, action figures, vehicles, everything. I just loved Ninja Turtles, and I collected that for a good amount of years, along with some other toy lines. About 10 or 11, I continued collecting, but it was comic books and comic cards, and that lasted pretty much, pre-teenage years. And even when I became a teenager, even though I didn't collect toys or anything anymore, I started getting into music and movies, and I started building a vast collection of CDs. I mean, I have I don't know how many CDs right now, like 700 to 1,000 CDs in my collection. And I stopped a few years ago. I still buy the occasional CD here and there, of course, some of my favorite bands, but for quite a few years, and movies too, I bought DVDs and whatnot. I collected pretty much anything involving movies and music. It wasn't until maybe a little bit after I got married that I started collecting action figures again. And it was only a brief thing. I bought like 5 or 6 Star Wars action figures, and just to kind of decorate my apartment. I got married 9 years ago. Wednesday will be my anniversary, actually. And I got a few things, and, just very minimal. I was watching Star Wars and whatnot. And it wasn't until a little bit before my daughter was born, which was about almost 5 years ago. It'll be this Christmas, where my wife got me a Lego set, and I fell in love again with Lego, because I used to collect a little Lego when I was a kid. It was way too expensive. My dad never bought it for me, and I loved it. And I started buying Lego sets, and then I started getting into the action figures again. I started buying clones a little bit after my daughter was born, which was a little bit over 4 years ago, and I started buying clones, and I kept them on package, but then I started opening them, and then from clones I went to bounty hunters, from bounty hunters main cast, and it just kind of, like the domino effect. The rest is history, and I do it because it's definitely something that keeps me entertained. It's a hobby. It's a getaway from the reality of the real world. When I started collecting, I started watching YouTube videos, I started talking to people, and I really felt, I could do this as well. And I started doing my own reviews and whatnot, and that really got me involved in the community. I started meeting more people who have the same interests. I started going to conventions to look for collectibles and toy hunting, and met some people here in my area. And it's been fun. I love it. The plastic itself, it's just awesome to see these detailed works of art, like Manny put it recently, and the Legos, which are fun to build. And I've started getting into Legos with my daughter, and she's getting into it, and it's just fun. It's just a getaway to do the reviews, to look at my collection, to have it on display. Yeah, it's an addiction, but it's a healthy addiction. It really just, it keeps me grounded. It's definitely a nice getaway. Traditions in regards to what I collect. It's mainly 3 3/4 inch Star Wars figures, Marvel Universe, which I still collect, Marvel Infinite, whatnot. I do collect the 6 inch and all pretty much anything relating to Star Wars for Lego. Lego is a huge passion of mine as well. I love Lego, and it's mostly just Star Wars. I've collected some other sets, Guardians of the Galaxy, some DC sets, but it's mostly just Lego. And of course, Pacific Rim, Hot Wheels, and I did collect the Transformers Prime line. That's what I mostly stick to, and it's mostly just action figures. I do have some other collectibles that are not action figure related, but that's what I stick to. And the other question was, what are your 3 favorite collectibles? And these are my 3 favorite collectibles, and I've mentioned these before. This is one of the original figures that I bought when I first moved into my apartment. It's a VOTC Boba Fett. Love it. Stood the test of time. Bought this back in, God, it must have been, I can't even remember what year it was. It was either when I first moved into my apartment with my wife or even a couple years before that, and I used it as a display piece. I can't really remember, but I've had this for quite a while. This is the Slave One Lego set that was released back in, 2010 must have been, and it's a great set, very nice. They recently did an Ultimate Collector's Edition one, but I love this one. It's a great set. It's a little dusty. This is the one my wife bought me that, pretty much started the whole collecting frenzy now. And then this Star Killer, which is my favorite action figure in my collection. I love that Star Killer. Just an awesome representation of the character. So these are my 3 all-time favorite collectibles. It was really hard to choose. I knew this one and this one were definitely going to be in the 2, but this one just has that sentimental value. So definitely wanted to include that one. So anyways, that's my contest entry to my vid entry to her contest/giveaway. Definitely recommend you check out her channel. She's wonderful. You won't regret stopping by. Hit that sub button if you like, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and until next time, may the Force be with you.